My name is Gerard Beirne, and I'm going to read from my book, The Thickness of Ice, from Baraka. And The Thickness of Ice is set on Hudson Bay in Churchill, Manitoba. But I'm actually sitting on the west coast of Ireland in Sligo. And although the landscapes are quite different, it is a bit of a wet and blustery day here today, so there's some correlation there. I'll read you just a bit of the blurb on the back that kind of sets up the premise of the book. Wade lives alone in the remote town of Churchill, Manitoba. He is obsessed about his responsibility for the death of his best friend, Jack. They had been arguing about Tess, a woman they both loved. As Jack's body was never found, the townsfolk assumed Jack had left abruptly. Wade never disclosed what happened. Years later, Wade meets Esther, who moves to Churchill to live with him. She hears the story of Jack's disappearance and is determined to find out what happened. What she hopes will bring closure threatens Wade's carefully constructed life. Where I'm going to read from, they have built a log cabin on this barren landscape where no trees grow, and they're huddled up inside as a blizzard approaches. The house was everything Esther had hoped for. The wood floors, the log walls, the loft, the high beams. The only reason she would leave it was to come back in. She would look outside at the ice and snow-covered lands and listen to the wind seeking out a crevice to slip through. We are safe here. We have winter leashed. First few days after we moved in, I couldn't sleep at night. It was a beautiful home, a marked improvement on my old one, but it held so little of my life. How did you sleep? I would ask Esther, and she would reply, I slept like a log. Outside, the winds increased, carrying the intense cold of the bay in towards us. They blew the falling snow into a frenzy. If we were to look beyond our window, we would have seen nothing, a white void as though we alone were the only people in existence. If we were to step outside, clothed as we were, we would have died. Instead, we sheltered beneath the bed covers. Our stove burnt the last 2 planks of wood from my old kitchen floor. It was relentless in its destruction. The heat kept us warm. Esther lay her body on top of mine, and I sank into the mattress under her weight. Our log house creaked under duress. Somewhere a bear was braced against the wind, treading across the frozen ground. The snow blew hard on his downturned head. He was following the path of his hunger. The waters of Hudson Bay beat against the underside of the ice they had trapped themselves in. The hollow boom of their plight fought to be heard. Esther pressed against my chest and spoke of the Ice Age. She told me how the weight of the glaciers depressed the land here, pushed it down as her weight pushed down on me. The ocean waters flooded in, she said, over 300 kilometers from the current coastline. 7,000 years later, the land is still rising back up. There are lines along the coast, stripes of sandy material showing a succession of beach ridges during the stages of its rebound. Esther rubbed her fingers across my forehead as though tracing the lines evident there too. Later, she eased herself off my body and lay next to me. She looked to see how long it took for me to rise back up again. Outside, the winds persisted. Frostbite, amputation, death. Snow silently walked across our property. It blew in wild from beyond, and then it walked. Sometimes it strolled like an old man, lay down at our door. There are no paths until you dig them. That's what I told her. Esther listened to the howl as the wind found an opening. There is always a way in, she replied. Once more, I knew that I loved her.